They just go with the flow. It's the Hershey and Keegs Show.
Welcome to Hershey and the Keegs Show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night. It is 9 p.m. That means you are hanging and banging with the Hershey and the Keegs Show.
Boom.
Boom. It is, it's going to be a good one. We're in the studio. We're here. We're happy. Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman, Tony Walker. And we got some guests. We got a lot of things going on.
We had a lot of things going on. It was very nice that the Knicks managed to schedule their games so it was on Monday and Wednesday.
They originally had it scheduled.
They did, and they changed it. It was something about David Stern and Judaism. I don't know exactly what it was, but they fixed it in our favor, and luckily we're here.
An exciting time in New York right now.
We have so much to go over. We have two great guests, which we're going to hit in a second. Before we do that, you know what we always do, which is we hit our first set of Hershey and the Keegs Show sponsors. One of our newer sponsors, we have the great folks over at Sophia Jewelry at 134 Gardeners Avenue right here in Levittown, specializing in diamonds and vintage jewelry. Go see Omid for all of your buying and selling of jewelry and mention Hershey and the Keegs for a free appraisal.
Wow.
We have the Sip and Serve waitress and bartending service. Elevate your next private party with the Sip and Serve squad. Their awesome bar and wait staff will ensure your event will be unforgettable. Book now and let them handle the details while you enjoy the celebration. Call Jen at 516-528-6783. Of course, we have New View Construction, established in 2007. They are the people to call for the finest craftsmanship and all of your general contracting needs. Call 516-924-5627 and do it with confidence. And if something happens to that beautiful home of yours, then we have American Restoration Solutions. When disaster strikes, they'll guide you to recovery. Call 516-662-9377 and ask for Senior Account Manager, my friend Keith Dunn. Now, with no further ado, I want to explain to people how the derivation of these two guests came upon us.
Yes.
We were obviously hot and heavy with the Knicks, as is the whole city, and I decided that with talking to you that we need to talk a little Knicks because it's taken over the city. Mm-hmm. And I had heard from a couple of people. Danielle McCartan wanted to come on, but she wasn't going to be able to do it till 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
I heard from Barbara Barker, who is a Newsday columnist. She couldn't do it tonight because she was covering the other game in the Eastern Conference.
Heard from Barbara Bush.
Yeah, Barbara Bush was going to be there. George Bush. We had a Homer Bush who was going to do it.
Homer Simpson.
Bob Barker. Yeah, all of them were going to do it. And then I started to have a little bit of an epiphany. Is that the word?
Yes, it was.
Yes, thank you.
It is.
I had an epiphany. You know, we're getting close to Father's Day. Obviously, I get a little emotional during that time. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking maybe we should have people on from a fan's perspective, okay?
Yeah.
And as you and I do text all the time, and I text with Monty about horse racing, well, these two guys that we have on tonight are two guys that I text with constantly about the Knicks.
Yep.
So they're a father-son team. I mean, they're not really a team. They're just a father and a son.
And they're a team.
They are a team.
All
I
fathers
mean,
and sons
they're
are
on
teams.
together right now. So with no further ado, we're going to bring on my good friends, my neighbors, stalwarts of Levittown, one of the best three-sport athletes that Levittown has seen, period. We have Cody Brush, who was a former all-county basketball player in Long Island. He was an all-conference baseball player and an all-league football player.
Jeez.
Yeah, impressive guy.
It's a renaissance man,
college basketball. And then his dad. Tim, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show, boys. How's it feel to be on the Hershey and the Keegs Show?
Feels good.
Feels good, right?
Awesome, man. Thank you for having us.
Were you guys, tell me when that first text came, were you guys like, is Hirschman drinking during the day? Like, what's this all about?
Well, like I said, I said to Michelle, I was like, 9:05 is it's kind of an inauspicious time. It's, either he's, booty called or,
right.
he's,
right.
I know I see you from my nightly walks. I'm like, oh, And I realized it's Tuesday. I'm like, oh, I bet he wants to do something with the podcast. So
You
I was
nailed it.
pretty jacked up, and I thought it was a great idea, since we obviously share a lot of passion for sports.
We do, and I will tell you that if I was ever looking for a booty call from you, I would just walk around the block. I'm not going to go ahead and send you a text thread with your son on it. So, but
Good point.
one of the things before we hit the Knicks and whatnot, I certainly, you guys know that I talk about my dad on the show, and I was very close to my dad, who's been gone for a few years. And even though Mike refuses to hug his dad, he loves his dad very much.
But he's still here, though.
He's still here. Yeah, rub it in, why don't you? But I've always been kind of enamored that you two guys share a very strong bond, and I think the first time that I noticed how sports bonded you guys. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was a couple of years ago when Cody's high school basketball team had clinched a playoff berth for the first time at the high school in many, many years. And I watched, because I was at a lot of the games, and I watched Cody come up to you directly after the game, and you guys shared, without getting into details, quite an emotional moment. Do you guys remember that, by the way?
Yes, I do.
And so talk about that. Like, was it the pressure that you felt on as one of the better players on the team, Code, that you guys finally accomplished that, and your dad who's taken you to practices at St. Bernard's and all this stuff? Like, is that what that culmination was?
Yeah, I feel like all the emotion at that point in time kind of just came out. Having him as a coach, starting at such a young age in multiple sports, not just basketball. He was my football coach throughout my entire life as well. So kind of just seeing him right across from where I was on the bench in the stands when that final buzzer went off, I knew I had to go up, give him a hug.
Yeah.
Because he's the main reason why I was the player I was.
Yeah, there's no, your dad never, and your mom also never spared any time or expenses. I know that, from camps you were doing and private practices and things like that. So I imagine that when there's that level of success that you have to automatically think like, a lot of this comes to what mom and dad did for me,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be the person, not just athlete, who I am today without either of them. So
what did that moment mean to you, Timmy? When that day happened?
Well, it's like, I didn't grow up in Levittown like 90% of the people that live here.
Yeah, me neither.
But
yeah.
I just know that being it's an amazing baseball community, obviously, and I know a friend of mine was the coach when Cody was in middle school, and then he moved on to a different school. And, they had a lot of bumps along the way. And I knew that, like, just, not to get, like, historically, it's Long Island basketball. But, when you put that much into it and, to be on a struggling program, it's tough, But
yeah,
it was pretty cool that people coming up and, like, I didn't know the last time they made the playoffs. Like, it's been – and obviously, they had they had a great coaching staff. The team bonded. I mean, these guys played together since, fourth grade at St. Bernard's, like you mentioned. I mean, with some MacArthur kids too, but the core of them, that was a huge part of it. They had talent, and it's too bad we were in the league with Manhasset and the South Side and Jericho and all them, but it was awesome, because not every kid growing up playing sports gets to play at a level like past the regular season, I mean,
yeah.
And he was fortunate enough to do it there, and baseball as well, obviously with the crazy run that they had.
Cody, how many years was it that you guys broke the schneid for the basketball? Do you remember?
I believe it was 16 years.
Jeez Louise, that's awesome. Mike, by the way, we should mention, was a very esteemed high school football player.
High school football, 5th grade All-Star Little League.
You were 5th grade Little League. It doesn't matter that it was.
I still have the trophy.
That was the mixed boy girl league, though.
Doesn't
matter though.
No, actually, I was the only boy in the league.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though, because you've done well for yourself.
But it's important. Like Tim was saying, it's important. Like I'll always remember it. My parents never missed a game.
Right.
Even my dad worked nights, and he would. His lunch break, he would come to West Hempstead to watch me play hockey.
Which really continues today. Your parents don't miss shows either.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always interesting to me, which I did not actually share this with my dad. I was a diehard Yankee fan, still am. He was a Dodger fan. I love the Jets. He was a Detroit Lions fan. I'm pretty sure that you guys have you root for the same teams, right? It's as far as the Yanks, the Knicks. Is it all the same that you guys root for?
Yes, yeah, all the same, yeah.
Yeah, and and I'm grateful because Mark, obviously, as Jets fans, I mean, the stress and the almost heart attacks of being a Jets fan,
Yeah.
as well as Islanders. Yankees have spoiled us, and obviously, and the Knicks are amazing right now. That what a great story that is. But
Well, yeah, we're
I
gonna get to
mean,
that. Yeah.
he gets so passionate about like the Jets and stuff, and it's good that he takes all the brunt of it now because now I said, listen, you got a long way to go. I've been doing this for 40 years, and they I'm sorry, but just get used to it. But he's an optimist. Already. Oh,
Oh,
we love
he
the
listen
draft. We love
for
this.
He's got no hope anymore.
for our text thread, the one that we
no
have.
hope.
He is the biggest optimist, which is fantastic. Is it safe to say though, Cody? I mean, you're how old now? You're 19, right?
19, yes.
Yeah. So, you were alive for the 2009 Yankee World Series, which I'm guessing you don't have much of recollection of it all. Does it
Not
bother
much.
you that you've never really seen a team win a championship at your young age still?
It does bother me, but I am grateful for the fact that I was able to watch, obviously, the Yankees last year in the World Series. That was still a really cool experience.
Yeah.
And now looking at the future for the Islanders as well, first pick. So I have a
Hey,
lot of hope
it's going
for
to be
my
an exciting
teams,
season.
but
This is the first season I haven't gone to one Islander game.
Yeah.
And they were terrible this year. But
No,
now there's some hope.
there's
They got
gonna-
the number one pick. They're going to have a
Listen,
new GM.
Can I just tell you, nobody was more excited. Cody, he blew up me and Tim's text thread with him. He was so excited
That's awesome.
that the Islanders cheated their way into the pick, which we're not
you were
complaining
the
about.
first one to text me about Lou Lamoriello getting
Yeah.
the boot
That was
and them
awesome,
getting the
too.
first pick. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was at work and it's exciting now.
I love
for
that
an
we're
Islander fan.
Tony also
Yeah,
Islander
Tony's an
fan.
Islander fan.
We love it. So
Yeah,
you
they can't screw that pick up. Hopefully, I mean, there's
wow.
three guys you could draft with no.
And you're not going to go wrong
Right.
with those three guys.
Do you ever, Tim, talk to Cody and explain to him, like, the truth is this, he's coming into he's watched a really good time for the Yankees, where you and I, years ago, we sat through some pretty rough times with the Yankees. They went through a period of time. The Knicks right now, I mean, obviously, this is the pinnacle, potentially, but there was many, 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 many dark years. Do you explain to him that he missed a lot of garbage, and now it's really a pretty awesome time to be a New York sports fan?
Yeah, no, I remind him a lot that he's pretty spoiled. I mean, I think minus the Ewing days when if the Bulls weren't around in Jordan, and that's
Yeah.
another. Don't even bring up Jordan and LeBron because we might get into a fist fight on live podcast here.
Do it.
No, but it's I mean, really sucky teams for a long time. Even
Kevin Knox era.
the
Tim
early
Hardaway era.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy, like with the world of social media. I mean, if I showed you the text from him from like the last 2 years, 90% of it is updates for. I mean, these kids know everything before it even happens. It feels like. So I'll shoot a text to my buddies like, "How'd you know that already?" Well, I'm like, "Well, I have a 19-year-old son who like lives in the world of
Sports and media.
sports
yep.
and social
Yeah.
media. It's crazy."
So it's most 19-year-olds and me do that.
But yeah, no, it's it's like that's the beauty of sharing that with your with your family. Now it's like they don't he has such a passion for sports, and I'm like, dude, you have no idea. Like, I mean, as an Islander fan, for example, I mean, I was in kindergarten when they went on that run, 4 cups in a row, and you have vague memories of it, but for a long time, it's I think I spoiled them, but also kind of balance them out a little bit with immersing them with the Jets.
Yes.
But then you have the Yankees.
That keeps
and then
them-
you have so it's like a roller coaster of
Yeah. It keeps
I
them
will
humbled.
Say, like Michelle brought up before, like when he was younger, we had to really because I'm married to a family of Mets fans, right? Giants fans,
even Rangers
even
fans.
some Rangers
Oh,
fans.
geez,
Really-
wow.
And I'll never forget the Victor Cruz jersey that was bought for him by my brother-in-law. Who, at the time, how do you not like Victor Cruz and that giant, But I said I never thought I'd see the day where there'd be any Patriots or Giants or Red Sox gear. Red Sox has never happened. I
Yeah.
don't think he'd ever
He had the Red Sox hat, remember?
Oh yeah,
With,
my
Jim
buddy,
Buddy.
I have a picture when he's like 6 months old with a Red Sox hat on.
You know,
burn it.
It's terrible, and this happened. One of Max's first T-ball team going back, 10 years ago was the Mets, and of course the pictures came, the pictures from the league, and it was Max in a Mets uniform and a Mets hat, and the picture is still actually in my office at work, but I have a black mark over the Met emblem because I just think it's sacrilegious. You can't have that.
You're a great father. You're a
Thank
great
you.
dad. Good
I
job.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I was originally a Mets fan. Like when I was a little
Well, no,
kid.
you come from Met.
My mother's a Met.
people.
My grandfather's my grandfather was a diehard Met fan.
Yeah.
My mother's a Met fan, and those are all the games that I went to. Those it was so much easier to get to Shea Stadium.
Of course.
And if you look on the back of one of my little league cards from like third grade or something, my favorite player was like Howard Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, you like going to Howard Johnson's.
Exactly.
Is what it said.
Oh yeah. But then I became a Yankee fan. But even when I was starting to be a Yankee fan, this is the late '80s, early '90s. They were dog shit.
Yeah.
But my dad's a big Yankee fan. His whole family Yankee fans.
So you were old enough to be able to see, obviously.
Yeah. So like
2009.
'96, I was like
Yeah.
13, 14
Okay.
years old, and
Yeah.
and then that whole run there. So
Are you guys to a point after last night, by the way, you two, where you're letting yourself get to the point of thinking that this team can make it to a finals and win? Because I'm not letting myself get there. You know how I am. But is your brain going there, both of you guys, right now?
It wants to, but at the same time, I don't want to say anything,
Right.
have it come back and bite us in the ass.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's like, I think now, obviously, with Tatum, with him being out, prayers to him, but I think it's
unfortunate you don't
relatively
want the guy to be hurt, but
Yeah.
it seems like all the cards are stacked for the Knicks right now.
But do they get
Yeah.
past Indiana though? That's another
Yeah.
thing. I mean, Halliburton is a beast. So I don't know. And I keep on having visions of meeting you guys on the train station in Wantagh and taking a train into the parade with a bunch of us. I just have that in my mind. Like, how insane would it be a Knicks parade for the first time in 55 years or whatever it is? Can you even imagine the freaking bedlam that would be?
He was just talking about it before, like they're gonna have to bring like the National Guard in. I mean, you see these viewing parties when the games are on. It's awesome. Like, and that's when you see stuff like that, like how the sport. It's funny. Like I'm a teacher, and like right now we're doing like a whole unit on sports literature, and to get the kids kind of fired up. It's middle school, and some kids sports aren't their thing, but to deny that it's like a huge part of the fabric of our culture is ridiculous, so it's cool to see. Like, I think back in the day, I'm not gonna like the Mets, for example, when they made it in 2012. I wasn't like pulling for them. I wasn't like rooting for the Royals either, or whatever year that was.
Yeah, 15 or 16.
Sorry, 2015.
Yeah.
And I think Mark, I'll be 50 next month. I think I'm starting to get a little bit mature because I don't find myself hating on like the Mets.
Yeah.
Or the or the Rangers. That's a different.
Yeah,
story.
see, that's the one team that I will hate on is the Rangers, but I don't hate on the Giants. I don't hate on the Mets, but I will hate on the Rangers for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I know I mean, Michelle and I sometimes like when Soto hit that home run last year against Cleveland, you may have heard us from
I did. I heard you. I called the police. There was a noise disturbance. I did.
I don't know what was more emotional, that or Duke losing to Houston. So I could go there.
We're not going. We will talk about Cooper, but not about that game, though. We will not.
No, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, what, dude? It's just and then I would tell my mother this story, and she's like, do you remember when you were in it was either 5th or 6th grade when the Mets beat the Red Sox? You did not want to go to school the next day because all my friends were Met fans. And I like, Mom, you're right. Like I remember going to school, getting off the bus, being like, I don't want to see. And one of my friends, my friend Kevin, was at the game. I was at the Buckner game, and I'm like, I don't want to see these guys. I don't. And then I'm like, no wonder where he gets it from.
Yeah, he definitely gets it from you. Can we make a commitment that we are going to a parade if it happens? Can we just say that?
100%, yes.
I mean, we will miss anything. We'll do the podcast live, Mike.
The podcast in the parade
from the parade.
Yeah, I think they're already setting a space for us there.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
That's good.
We
That's
have press
very good.
credentials there.
It'll probably be on the Lower East Side is where they'll set us up for. All right. So we talked, Cody is a huge fan and has been so. So he's not on the bandwagon. He created the bandwagon. Cooper Flagg was the number one prospect in high school. All of us saw him play in high school at Hofstra a couple of years ago. Then, obviously, Duke had a great career at Duke. Now he's going to be the number one pick. And in a very strange twist of irony last night, the Max's team, who Max is a diehard Dallas Mavericks fan, with 1.8% chance, they won the draft lottery, and they're going to pick Cooper Flagg, who's Cody's number one player.
Exactly.
So I can see us going to Brooklyn to see Cooper play against the Nets. Going to the Garden will probably be a little bit ridiculous, but how do you feel about that match, Cooper Flagg with the Mavs, essentially replacing Luka, who was given away in a very bizarre trade? How do you feel about Cooper and you rooting for the Mavs going forward?
I think it's great. I feel like now adding him, you have two really elite rim protectors with Flagg and AD, and you also have, I think they have a contender as a team now. And
Kyrie, Derek Lively,
Yeah, they have 3 out of the 5 starters now. They're former Duke guys, Kyrie, Flagg, and Lively. So I think that's pretty cool. And I also saw a few things that they were thinking about trading the first pick for Giannis, but I heavily disagree with that.
I just
can't.
This guy Nico Harrison literally is looking to get himself in just a lot of physical harm, because the fact is he totally backward half-assed into this deal yesterday. He had no shot to get that draft pick, and he got it. Just take Cooper Flagg. He's a two-way player. He can shoot. He can defend. And we saw him play feet away from us at Hofstra, and he was a freak of nature. He's 19. How old is he? He's not even 19 yet, is he? He just turned 19.
He just turned 18.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Just take him.
Delicious.
Yeah,
meat.
right.
Yeah.
For you, it's young, delicious meat. For other people, it's a young prospect.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think that if they go ahead and they have a run for a couple of years with Cooper Flagg, with Lively, with Kyrie, you have AD. They have a shot now for 2 or 3 year window where they can really be the team coming out of the West. And I really hope that they don't make a move. But this guy, Nico Harrison, is not afraid of anything. So you really never know what he's capable of. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
I was just happy that, I know, that now with these one and dones, which I hope they change at some point with the NCAA, because, to see that kid in that group play another year, who knows if they win it all, but it was such a fun run, whether you like Duke or not.
Yeah.
I think Jay Billis said earlier this year, he said, the only flaw I find with this Duke team is that they're actually making Duke likable again.
Yeah.
They're like the Yankees. You either love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
But I think I was glad, like when Cody texted us, I was like, I always had him because who had the highest percentage?
It was
like
the Wizards, the Jazz, and the Hornets.
And the Mavs
you
were the
don't
lowest
deserve
of one of
playing.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, so happy for him.
I got to be honest with you. I thought myself that this NIL business would actually help us go back to the old days where you'd have guys stick around for 2 years or 3 years because they're making so much money. And it hasn't happened yet. Hopefully it does. But this is something that I've said for a couple of years now. You guys have seen me post about it on social media. I've talked to Coach Robbins about it, who's the high school coach for the girls here in town. And I enjoy watching women's college basketball more than I do men's college basketball, because there is some you can have some recognition of following a group of players for several years. So when you had UConn with Beckers and Fudd and all these players, you were able to root for someone.
There's a player named Fudd?
For Elmer Fudd. Yeah. Is it Fudd? Did I say it right? What's her last name? Ajay. What is it, Tony? You always know these things.
I don't know much beyond Beckers.
Elmer Fudd is her name.
Elmer Fudd.
But anyway, it's these players stick together, and it helps you root for teams. But for me, I'm a St. John's guy, and I've been to a bunch of games this year, but the team this year is going to be a whole new team. It's the R.J. Lewis is gone. Like their best player. It's like it's hard to root for teams when it's just irreplaceable parts like that. So hopefully the NIL will eventually bring this back to some normalcy. But who knows?
Yeah, there were two moments.
Yeah. Thank you.
There were two moments this year that was kind of like being a college hoops fan for so long. Two interviews with one was with Pitino and one was with Coach K. And Pitino was asked about high school recruits, and he said point blank, "We're not recruiting anybody out of high school."
Right.
And I was like, man. And then when Coach K said that if John Shire tries to try to convince Cooper Flagg to stay there, he'd be doing him an injustice because it's generational money. It's just like, you can only enjoy this for such a short period of time. There's no more like when Brunson played at Nova, like these guys were there for multiple years, and it was cool to see that gel. But it's just just the way things are now.
It's so crazy to me that they're talking about the need to rush a player like Cooper to generational money when he's literally playing as a 17-year-old and turning 18. Like, couldn't they just give him a chance to play for another year? And then I'm sure the NIL money in Duke is outrageous. I'm sure he was getting multiple millions of dollars that his rookie contract won't even be the same as. So. But listen, the pressure is this. If I said to you, you're going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft, how do you turn it down? It's kind of tough.
I wouldn't turn it down.
Yeah.
Well,
and the biggest thing
almost
too is
had a chance.
I had a chance. I wasn't going to turn it down though.
The biggest thing too is the scare of injury. Staying another year in college, tearing an ACL or an Achilles or
Tatum.
Yeah.
You really ruin your draft stock with that because you're out for the rest of the year and probably going to miss the combine. So
it's true.
I get what he was thinking.
Timmy, you just brought up Tatum. I want to go back to that before we let you guys go. Do you guys feel that that this, if the Knicks go ahead and win this round, that there's going to be a little bit of an asterisk because of the fact that that Tatum's gone, or it looked like, the Knicks were going to win that game anyway yesterday. They were going to be up 3-1. Do you think there's going to be any bullshit like that where people are going to be saying, wow, if we had Tatum, we would have come back, or not really?
Of course. Everybody's going to, scrutinize, but listen, whatever people say, the way they won those first two games is like remarkable how they did that twice. One's maybe an anomaly, but now you have wow, you do that twice with double digit leads.
2 games in a row, you're down by 20 points.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. And against a team like that, that usually the Knicks, it's the other way around. Like they're blowing the double digit leads. But it's fun. I just want to wrap this up. I want to make a point that we argue a lot about especially with basketball players, and again, not bringing up the GOAT conversation, but one thing I give him credit for, I think when Flagg was in 7th or 8th grade, again, social media and following, he would show me these clips, and at the time I was like, okay, he's like a freakishly tall 13-year-old that can play a little basketball, and this kid called it from by the time he was 13, 14 years old, and and it was cool. Like we went to see the Duke Illinois game. I got tickets for Christmas, and it was cool that we got to see him. In high school and in college, and I, inevitably we'll be hitting the Barclays at some point to see him play there. Hopefully, the four of us, that would be a cool thing.
It's funny you say that. I don't even know if I appreciated it at the time, and hopefully Max will as years go on. But it just so happened that the seats that Max and I got for that high school game, we were sitting behind Cooper Flagg's bench. We were literally 5 feet away from him. So you guys have seen the video I've taken of him coming on the bench and everything. And I guess I didn't buy into the hype yet. I didn't know enough about him. But watching him that day and then watching him last year, he's a freak. He has a chance to be. I don't want to say the next LeBron. You don't want to put that kind of pressure on a player, but he has a definite unique skill set that we really haven't seen in a long time. Would you agree with that?
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and when you saw the footage of him running with the Olympic guys, and he was lighting them up, then you're like, oh, it's for real,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No doubt about it. So yeah, hopefully this ends with the Knicks having a remarkable run. The one thing about the Knicks that we didn't mention, aside from the two 20-point comebacks, they also came back from 14 last night. Let's forget about that. Not forget about that too. Yeah. That's not a little comeback. That's a pretty sizable comeback as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's why it's like maybe it's in, the writings on the wall. Maybe they're destined to, make a run. And again, whoever comes out of the West, it's not like, but just to see. I mean, I remember the last time. Was it Nick Spurs, right? That was Duncan Robinson and those guys, and
Yep.
Tony Parker, and
Yep.
and then even before that, Houston, like with the OJ, with the Bronco chase, in the middle of like Game 3, I think it was.
1994.
Just the
Yeah.
level of excitement. Yeah, and now if they make that run with, sharing it with him, and Michelle's, I think she watched more of the game than I did the last couple of nights, because I was kind of back and forth, and it's cool. Like playoff anything is awesome, So, yeah, but enough of these like heart attack games. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully they can either close it out in Boston tomorrow when they come back to New York. The last thing we need is a Game 7, because anything can happen in a Game 7, and that will be back in Boston. So let's go ahead and close it out tomorrow. We won't start talking about our plans for the parade for at least another couple of weeks yet.
Don't touch the money just yet.
We're not going to do that, but this was awesome, guys. I appreciate you coming on such short notice. I hope you guys had fun.
You know what we need?
What do we need?
We need another retired NFL
Absolutely.
player
Awesome.
to
Thank
murder
you
his
for
wife
having
and her
us.
lover.
Oh, that seems like a good plan.
Emmett Smith. We need Emmett Smith to murder his
Emmett
wife.
Smith? Okay. Well, we'll see if we can reach out to his people.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can do
recreate
that.
the whole Houston thing. get him a
Keegs, as
Bronco.
always, with a novel idea that is looking to get us banned from the air permanently. But we are both very appreciative, as is our producer, Tony. Well, on behalf of all three of us, thank you for coming on. I love you guys, and let's go Knicks. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Of course. Let's go.
love you guys.
Baby. Thank you.
All right,
All right,
thanks
boys.
for having
We'll
us,
talk to you
guys.
soon. Take
Be
care.
well.
All right.
Bye now.
Thank you guys.
Right. All right, Tony, we're going to do our next
All right,
set.
see you, bud.
All right, boys. Night-night. We're going to do our next set of advertisements when you're ready, Tone. You're good? All right. We have, and this is like really prime time need for this. Our first advertiser of the second set is Sunray Services. Now is the best time to convert hybrid heating and cooling. Call them today at 631-231-5533 or visit them online at www.sunrayservices.com. They do those split ducts and they do the central air.
Yeah, they
and
split the ducts.
They split
Yeah.
those ducts and cut them right in
cut 'em
half.
right in half.
So our boy Eric Half runs Sunray Services. Definitely the most reputable heating and air conditioning company that I've ever been affiliated with.
it's a good
so reach
family.
out to them. Wonderful family. We have our boy James Nocerino at Triple M Professional Painting and Construction. 516-395-6390. Family owned and operated for over 35 years. Call for your free estimate today. I mean, you might want to wait till tomorrow because it is late, and ask for James. But again, that's 516-395-6390. And our next sponsor is a new sponsor.
Ooh,
and we love
always
new
like-
sponsors,
we love
don't
new
we?
sponsors.
And this is one of my favorite businesses on Wantagh Avenue in Levittown. Very, very reputable business called Dimitri's Valet Cleaners on Wantagh Avenue in Levittown. They have been in the dry cleaning business since 1965. They take your garment care very seriously. Quality is their policy. Mention Herschy and the Keegs, and you get a 15% off of your purchase.
Wow.
So, yeah, Wantagh Avenue, right near Ralph's Ices, right near the bakery over there.
The pizzeria over
The
there.
pizzeria, that pizza place.
Yep.
So
On the border.
This is right next to the border.
Yep.
Dimitri's Valet Cleaners, wonderful family, and I love them, and I think you should use them as well. Then, of course, we have Demolition Specialists, 1-855-RIP-OUTS, the number you call for demolition, dumpsters, and fence rental. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. They are a fully licensed demolition contractor. And then, of course, Michael, you might know this person. Last but not least,
Yeah.
the New York State licensed real estate person, Diane Keegan.
Oh, yeah, rings a bell.
Well, you
Rings a
know
bell.
her, yeah.
Yes.
From All Island Estates Realty Corporation, you can call Diane directly at 516-458-1864 or email her at diane@allislandestates.com. If you're looking to
Buy.
rent,
Sell, lease.
buy, lease, steal,
You can lease,
make
you can-
Diane your first call. We love Diane. We love All Island Estates Realty. If you're looking to do anything in the real estate world, reach out to her.
If you need dead dogs digged up.
Digged up.
Digged up.
Yeah, also. So we love that guest, that pairing today. Cody and Timmy Brush, wonderful. They were terrific, as I thought they'd be.
Earth.
They are salt of the earth. It's a wonderful family. But now we have some housekeeping to do. We have some things that I want to cover.
Housekeeping?
Yeah, exactly. You came up with a video that went a little viral this weekend. I don't know what your impetus was, but all of a sudden I turned on my phone the other day and I see you dressed as the Pope. You're dressed as the Pope, and you have a background. Looks like you're in a church.
In the Vatican,
and you were wearing. I don't know if you were wearing the Pope hat, but I think it might have been a yarmulke you stole from one of your neighbors.
it was a yarmulke because it was $12 cheaper than the other Pope hat.
Yeah, so you bought a large yarmulke.
A large yarmulke, but he wears a yarmulke sometimes.
But where did this stuff all come from?
So I had the yarmulke that I ordered from Amazon. Mm-hmm. I had a white button-down shirt with my cross chain on. And a towel. I had a white towel over me. But
is that what it was?
Because it looked good, right? It looked good, right?
It didn't look good. It looked like I was like, because I know the kind of effort that you put into the show, and that was more than I've ever seen you ever do in 3 years. And I'm like, holy shit! Like he's coming together here.
Yeah, I'm having fun making these videos. I got this CapCut app, and you can make the video, change the backgrounds, you can edit them and cut them. So I'm having a little fun.
Don't think about anything like that for the show. Ever.
No, exactly. Hey, I sent you a good idea for the show the other day.
Oh, we're gonna do that one. We're gonna do that one.
Yeah.
And how'd you get the backdrop? What was the?
So in CapCut, I was doing a little research, and it showed you how to remove the background behind you and add a background.
Mikey,
yeah,
you're getting good, man.
Guy now, so yeah.
So
I am gonna apply that stuff to the show now that I know how to do it.
All the free time that you have not putting effort into our show, you're doing it with your papal dreams.
Exactly. Yeah. So
you are from a God-fearing right-wing family.
Yes.
You and your mom and dad were definitely interested in the Pope selection.
Yep. Exciting.
I personally love following that. I think the Pope is a very significant human being in our country, so I do follow it. The fact that they picked Vinny Boombots from Chicago, though, was
it's
so
amazing,
crazy to me.
They have a video of him at a
he's at the
White
Yankee
Sox
game. That's right,
White Sox
game.
He's a Sox fan.
Yeah.
And they're interviewing his brothers who were just these Goomba guys that live in Florida. And
he's like, we used to go ahead, we pull his underpants out of his shirt.
Exactly.
I'm calling him the Pope.
Guy went to Villanova. He was doing keg stands at Villanova.
I don't understand. Like, for me, in my 43 years on Earth, I have never. It's usually some guy who speaks Latin who's 102 years old, and you hear him. He's like, like, you know what I mean? And
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, this guy's like, all right, listen, all your guineas on the lawn there. Like, I just phenomenal.
Exactly.
How did this? I didn't even think that was allowed.
Deep dish pizzas from Lucali's.
But how did it come about that this was even? I didn't even think it was allowed.
I knew of him when I was watching the whole conclave leading up to it and looking up who the candidates were, because I'm a Timothy Dolan guy. He's a New York guy. That's our cardinal.
But Timothy Dolan has been mentioned for like 50 years.
Yeah.
How old is Timothy Dolan now?
He's got to be 132.
No, he's got to be in
he's in his late 70s, I believe.
Okay, so he's always gotten bypassed for whatever reason. I don't know why.
But they were saying he's like the kingmaker at the Vatican.
Okay,
it was really his. He has a lot of impression on who gets picked.
Okay,
and then this guy apparently. He was like one of Pope Francis's right-hand guys. He was doing a lot of missionary work in Peru.
Yeah.
And and it's just a good guy.
He blew the best Jordan on me, daddy.
But they had like a Filipino guy who was like the favorite.
Oh, really?
And, there was like a black guy,
I didn't follow that stuff. I just, one day I saw smoke coming out of my neighbor's house, and it turns out that their barbecue was on.
Exactly.
But you were taken aback.
I enjoy the whole process, because I saw that movie Conclave, which was
it's phenomenal shit.
Yeah, so it's cool learning about the inner workings of the Vatican. I've been to the Vatican. I was actually at the Vatican like 2 weeks before Pope John Paul died.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think I might have killed him.
The video of him at the White Sox game is just like, did the people take video of him because he was a high-ranking priest at the time, or it just happens to be random that he's there, like, go fuck yourself, pirates? Like, I don't understand, like, what the derivation of
He's
was.
like, Altuve sucks.
Yeah. I'm going to be Pope, bitch.
I don't think really people around him knew he was a cardinal. And 'cause when you're a card, there's a couple of hundred cardinals. It's not like he's.
I don't understand why he wasn't a fan of the Cardinals.
He hates the Cardinals, actually.
He does not like the
He's not
Cardinals.
when it first came out, everyone was saying he was a Chicago Cubs fan, and he got pissed.
And that was
He like,
bullshit.
yeah, exactly, because they take it seriously. He's from the south side of Chicago.
Right. So
And
he's
his brother cleared the air right away.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You see the Pope at a White
Dude,
Sox game.
I love the interviews. Like, we're here with, like, Vinny Boombatz. He's the Pope's brother.
Exactly.
He's like, yeah, he's a dick. I'm not a big fan of my little brother, you know. I'm going to go visit him maybe at some point if he'll see me.
Exactly, dude. His brother, there was just an interview with his brother today. He was at the Vatican visiting him last night. He's like, yeah, he had me over to his place. Like, that's what you call the Vatican? His place?
Yeah.
He's like, he had me over to his place, and whoever was interviewing him was like, oh, what'd you guys have for dinner? He goes, we had pizza.
Yeah,
Like, that's, I swear to God, that's
we're
what
hanging out at the vat.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. We're at the vat.
We'll play. They had like the basketball court inside,
Exactly.
and then they have like a virtual reality stuff.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, the whole thing.
Exactly.
But
it's wild. It's
thing
exciting
is,
though, and
your
seems
thing
like
was
a good guy.
sensational. Your thing was fantastic. I
thank
was
you.
very proud of you. Before I forget, by the way, and we'll cover what things we have coming up as far as of things and whatnot. But our friend Steve Heitner.
Yes.
Is going to be at Governor's this weekend.
Yep, exciting.
Okay?
Yeah, Kenny Banya from
Yeah.
Seinfeld, who's been on our show.
Yep.
I was with him a few months ago, Catch a Rising Star in Princeton.
You had a great weekend with him. So before I forgot, I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that Steve Heitner is going to be here for 2 shows right here at Governor's in Levittown. I've already gotten texts from a couple of friends that they're coming to see him.
Excellent. The guy puts on a great show.
Yeah, so I think I want you to talk a little bit about the fact that this is not just a guy who was Kenny Banya on Seinfeld. This is a stand-up comic before Kenny Banya and a stand-up comic after, and he is a sensational stand-up comic.
Because I'll tell you, you see these old sitcom guys, they come around and they try to do stand-up again. He originally was a stand-up. And
for many years,
But when I did the show with him, I didn't know what to expect. I think he's going to do Seinfeld references for 45 minutes.
It's gold, Keegan. It's gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't mention Seinfeld until the last 10 minutes of his act. The guy just has a solid,
He's a stand-up.
hilarious act. He's a great stand-up.
He's a legit stand-up.
And you're going to see a good show if you come see him because the guy's just a phenomenal comic.
I'm going to be up. Sam is graduating. My oldest daughter's graduating with her master's degree on Friday, but I am hoping to be back. Maybe pop in, hang out with Tony a little bit on Saturday. But govs.com, make sure that if you guys have some free time this weekend, go catch Steve Heitner. He's definitely one of the best in the business, and you're really going to love it,
and
for sure.
just a great guy.
Yeah, no, terrific guy. Yeah. You couldn't say enough about him.
Yeah,
I mean,
the guy was awesome. It
Yeah.
was, there was no... as soon as I walked in there, usually like the guys they'll have their own green room. All the the guys that have been on TV.
Yeah.
This guy was like out in the open. We're hanging out at the bar.
Yeah,
after
you're just chilling
the
out.
Show, and
Yeah.
he's a good guy. Yeah, and he's very funny.
All right, so now that was a lot of goodwill. Now, as usual, the show takes a turn, and I have to vilify you for a couple of things.
Not?
Okay, the first thing, which happened a couple of weeks ago, and you may not even remember, just because this happened so much in your life that you don't think. Sometimes you just will be on social media
once in a while. I think.
No, you'll just like write things, and then I'll even like refer to you a couple of days later. Like, I don't even remember doing that, but it was you who did it. You know,
probably.
So there was an actress a couple of weeks ago. She was like, she was in like the movie Carrie. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street #3. So I would say like not we're not talking about Sophia Loren
like
here,
a middle of the road.
Middle of the road, And her name was Priscilla Pointer.
Yeah.
And she was an elderly
Pointer sisters.
And that's what you wrote. This was an 80-something-year-old white woman, and you were your first comment on the thread was, "I loved her as part of the Pointer sisters." And it's just.
Oh, she wasn't.
No, she wasn't.
Oh.
No, she wasn't. If you the Pointer Sisters, no.
Because I was a big Pointer Sisters fan.
Yeah,
I thought
you
we
are.
lost one of them.
You just have no regard at all whatsoever. You also have no regard for the fact that I've asked you to stop doing this. You keep on doing it. The level of disgustingness of the text that you've been sending me, the Instagram reels and the TikToks, and you've been including Tony on it also.
I get caught up in that.
Yeah, it's just sickening. Like,
Because you're supposed to be showing them to Max.
no, I'm not showing them to my 15-year-old son at all. But for a couple of weeks now, you've been sending videos that are videos of like an elephant with its baby elephant, and then you're like, it seems cute, and then it ends with two guys kissing. But today, I don't even know what you sent me. It's a guy on a toilet bowl talking about diarrhea, and I'm like, what's the point here? I still don't know I don't think I even got to the end because I didn't want to see something really horrible that would have ruined my day.
Yeah.
But what was the derivation of that? What made you send that?
Because I thought you might enjoy it. It's a good chuckle.
No, I didn't.
It's in like these comedy reels on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
He
I
was
understand
eating
that.
it. He was eating the diarrhea.
All I know is that I can send you a text, something important that I need an answer about, like, hey, I'm thinking about this guest. I reached out to this guy from Newsday, whatever, and you will read the text, you will ghost me, you will not respond, and then 15 minutes later, I get a picture of a guy on a toilet bowl. like I don't understand. Well, you just read that text 15 minutes ago. It's just not. It's not respectful. To do that.
Is it disrespectful?
I think it is, Tony. What do you think? It is a little disrespectful, right?
I'm trying to bring a little cheer and brightness to your day.
I understand that.
Twisted is the word. I think I do.
Twisted.
I know you're working hard at work. You need a little break.
Yeah. Well, so rest in peace, Priscilla Pointer. A couple other observations that I made, and this wasn't something about that you had made a comment on, but it is an interesting topic. There's pages on Facebook and social media where, God forbid, someone loses their dog, and we're both very sensitive to that.
Yeah.
Like I've literally gone on chases for people's dogs, friends of ours, whatever. The one thing that I can't seem to, yeah, exactly, Tony. The one thing that I can't seem to get a hold of is when people seem like they're constantly posting that they've lost their cockatiel or that parakeet. Like, what are the fucking chances that a parakeet or a cockatiel is going to be? These are not like those Mike Tyson birds that will fly back to your house.
Exactly. They're not homing
If your cockatiel or your parakeet gets lost, just move on.
Yeah, it's meant to get a new one for 35 cents.
No, I'm just
First
saying.
of all, but also,
go get a budgie
and
for like.
but also, if you have a bird in your house, you're a psychopath anyway.
Well, I'm not saying
hate
that,
people who have
but I'm
birds.
just saying, like, if the bird can fly and gets loose, what are the chances? Oh, I was just on the southern state in Islip, and I saw,
You
and I
don't
saw
see Mark Hirschman with a butterfly net trying to save somebody's.
Oh, I think I saw Tweety over by Mario's Pizza in Wantagh. Like, what are the chances?
Exactly.
Without being insensitive, because I understand people have an affinity with their birds, which is fine. Although
it's not.
I'm not a bird guy.
Not a bird
I remember my father came home with a bird, when I was a kid in my teens, and he would open up the cage and it would get out and it would just flutter around. And I'd be like, I don't want to live here anymore.
I had a bird.
I don't want to
and
live
I think
here.
We just stopped feeding the thing.
Yeah.
And because it was annoying.
But am I being insensitive by saying
No,
that?
exactly. If a bird gets away, it was meant to get away.
You know what? I hope that there's someone is going to disprove me that, like, they've lost their cockatoo or whatever the case may be.
You've lost a cockatoo, I've heard.
Or three, yes. and then like no, someone found it and they baited it in with bird seed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true.
And the bird came back.
Well, that's a good feel-good story, but that stuff doesn't happen.
I guess I've never, like, there are certain things in life that I don't think ever happen. Birds don't ever come back.
No.
Lacrosse goalies never stop a ball, ever.
Exactly.
I never have seen a ball stopped by a lacrosse goalie. Ever. It's always like there was 36 shots and the game was 19-17. I never see a lacrosse goalie stop a ball. So there's just certain things that you don't see a lot.
Yeah, you don't see that.
You don't see.
If anybody ever had a bird return, Not on its own. If it returns on its own, I guess that's a thing.
Oh,
but not like
no.
somebody's out there hunting for your bird and you find it. And
Listen,
it returns.
I'm like I said, our friends, the No Serinos, the painting company, Triple M. They were in Florida a couple of months ago, and their dog got escaped from a relative's house. And I went on a mission.
Yeah.
I was out. I was telling people about it. That's fine, and thank God someone found the dog. But
Plus, dogs are amazing, and birds
Yeah.
are rats with wings.
No, but I'm not trying to diminish the love of a bird. There are people who love birds and ferrets and cats and whatever the case may be. I'm just saying there's so much life out there that a bird. There's so many trees and poles and
exactly,
and windshields that could be. There's just so much that can happen to a bird.
Exactly.
And
It's not going to fly 10 feet away. It's going to fly miles and
if
miles
you're,
away.
If you're a bird and you get out, you're like, I'm getting the fuck out of
exactly,
here.
yeah, I'm not
like,
sticking around here.
I've been in that goddamn crate with that stupid wheel.
Yeah, it's like if you escape from prison, you're not going to hide out at the house next door. You're
That's
going to try to
right.
get as far away
Like,
as you can.
They give me one grape every 2 weeks. Like, I am going to go fly my ass off.
Yeah, I'm going to eat
and
mice.
And then eventually a hawk's going to eat me.
Exactly.
Which you don't think about when you're
I wish
a bird.
a hawk would eat you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that. No, that was nice, though.
No, I don't wish a hawk would eat
No,
you.
I appreciate that. They're very nice. So this is another thing as we get close to wrapping up that, again, not seeming insensitive, but it is something that we talked about a while back. Did you ever wind up watching the Will Ferrell special with his SNL? You couldn't.
I couldn't bring myself to watch it. I want to like Will Ferrell still.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. Yeah,
Will Ferrell.
Right. So Will Ferrell, for people who have not seen it, and this is tough for Mike. This would have been a tough, it's not a right wing loving type of thing. Essentially, Will Ferrell's friend from SNL for many years, a guy has transitioned. Not transitioned in the sense where there was no top surgery or bottom surgery, but he lives life now as a woman, and he just stop.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
No, he lives life as a woman, and this documentary that they did was essentially traveling the country with him as being a man, and this is where so something I saw the other day reminded me of this. I was walking into Kohl's, and a person was walking out of Kohl's, and it was clearly a man who was now living life as a woman, like dressed like it, but a full-blown, like almost Don Johnson beard. Okay,
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this, and again, please, I'm not looking to be insensitive at all, but if you're gonna go ahead and to live that life like that, shouldn't you
At least shave your beard.
so just so there's not a confusion of if someone looks like a woman, then they can be referred to as a woman. But to walk around with a 5 o'clock shadow,
put a little
like that,
effort into it. Putting a sundress on doesn't.
Well, so that was the thing that in the special that bothered me, the documentary.
Special did bother you.
There was a thing that did bother me. I will tell
The
you.
special was there a comma there?
No,
the special that bothered me, or the special.
No, the
that
special.
bothered
I
you?
enjoyed the special a lot,
did.
and I liked the sensitivity of Will and his friend, and it was wonderful. But she got angry at more than one waiter for referring to her as sir.
Yeah.
And here's the part that bothered me. She was really angry, like pissed, okay? Is that essentially this was still very much a man as far as appearance, square jaw, basically was like hair up, and like maybe a barrette was the only thing that was separating from the fact that it was like regular clothing.
Yeah.
Like, how is that? How is it fair to society where you can't get mad at society if there's no distincting qualifier of
Especially if somebody's doing it innocently. The person doesn't
Right.
know that you're trying to look like a woman.
Right, like
And you don't get mad at them.
You can have long hair. I mean, I think that if that person clearly wants to be considered a woman, and they should be, and you want to be referred to as ma'am, that's fine. But you can't get mad at someone if
Yeah.
you're just sitting there and you have like a little barrette in your hair.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to do it because there are
Exactly.
men who have long hair too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
If somebody comes up to you and, hey, Jim, how are you? My name's Mark. You're an
Yeah.
asshole. Bro, you don't get mad at them. You know,
So
it's-
again, this is not whatsoever to be insensitive, but I think on the other side of things, you have to be fair and you have to
and
play
you have
the
to
part.
realize that we're at a time where people are starting to get used to that is happening. So just
Yeah.
let people ease into it. You know?
Yeah. I think let
I
people
don't have to learn that there's 72 genders now. No, there's 2 genders and 37 types of gay.
Yeah, so you're probably at 30 of those, because this week has been your bottom. By the way, your lowest point. No, actually, Tony he texted me the other day. Did you text me? Kiss or slap or something like that? What did you text
another
me?
thing, yeah.
And you got
It's
mad
always-
at me. No, and I said no, like stop or something. But what was
Because I
it?
send you these reels to make you laugh, and then you,
No,
and
but
then
what
you give
was-
me a thumbs down.
What was the verbiage that you used that skeeved me out? Like, hold on a second. Was it kiss or slap or?
Yeah, it was like 2 guys interviewing each other, and one of them was like, "You can kiss me or you can slap me."
And then I'm like, I think he's.
I think
really
you said
angry.
slap, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Grow up,
Oh,
Mark.
you wrote well, kiss or slap. Oh, and then I responded back with a picture of a cartoon slapping its teddy bear.
Oh, yes, that's right.
What is that? What's that guy called? What's that show?
That's Family Guy.
Family
Stewie.
Guy, yeah.
Stewie.
And I said, so Stewie was slapping his teddy bear. I
Yeah.
said slap, and then you wrote back rude, and then you didn't text me again for
Yeah,
the whole
I was
day.
a little pissed off.
Yeah. So
I wanted an LOL, not a.
yeah. No,
Not violence.
You're an interesting character.
Yes.
I will say that. Sometimes I think you need some help. That's all.
Yeah, but the Will Ferrell thing, I can't watch it because I want to still like Will Ferrell, and he's become like this annoying liberal now.
No, but this is, what's interesting? He really is a good-hearted man, definitely, because he was dealing with a person who definitely is dealing with some mental struggles and had considered suicide and things like that. And he showed that he does care. And so, regardless of what your beliefs are and things like that, the fact that he, from a humanity standpoint, was trying to make sure that his friend didn't kill himself or things like that. Put all your politics aside and things like that. Your anti-liberal
Well, essentially,
sentiment.
he did. He killed the man, and now he's a woman.
Yeah, except that again, he showed up in this restaurant in Oklahoma where he got mad at the person,
Yeah,
and
and
he
you're
was
in
wearing
Oklahoma.
like a Harley Davidson sweatshirt, jeans, and like
Oklahoma.
his hair like with a little beret.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad we went down this road where if we still have like Cody's friends watching the show, like we couldn't have talked more about sports for 20 minutes.
How about them Knicks?
How are you? I mean, I know that your main sports. You're obviously Yankees number 1, Bills number 2, over Islanders. I don't know, close.
Yeah, Bills number 2, and Islanders are close third.
Are you generally speaking not the biggest lover of basketball?
I'm not particularly now. I am now. I'm
Yeah.
super into it.
Okay,
but
okay,
I still
good.
I still can't watch a whole basketball game. I'm not super into. I like playing basketball.
Yeah.
I played when I was younger.
Yeah.
I can't. I enjoy the last 8
Well,
minutes of a
you
basketball
look like
game.
a prototypical basketball
Exactly,
player.
but
Yeah.
I never super got into I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood.
Yeah.
And never super got into basketball, but I enjoy like the last few minutes of the next game, or if I see in the third quarter that it's close.
Are you one of the people who think like, well, the team that's getting blown out always makes a run, and I'm going to watch the last 10 minutes because the game's going to be closer at the last 10 minutes? It's kind of true.
You know,
I mean,
you know
a
what
lot
it
of
is?
cases.
Like baseball, the game-changing play could happen in the first inning.
Yeah.
Football, the game-changing play could happen in the first
Right.
quarter.
Basketball does not happen.
It doesn't happen, and it's just like I just watch them run.
A
back and
basketball
forth.
game really is like not so much in the scheme of time, but it's a long game. I mean,
Yeah.
there's 200 some odd points
Yeah,
usually
exactly,
scored.
yeah.
Where a baseball game there might be one run or a hockey game or
Yeah.
things like that. So there's an enormous amount of activity in a basketball
Yeah.
game, and it's too much for you.
It's way too much for me. It's a lot of
Yeah.
attention. But that being
Yeah.
said, I'm enjoying the Knicks' run right now, and
good.
I'm rooting for them.
So if they do make it to the championship and they win it, you will come to the city with me.
I'll
for
come
a
to this.
parade.
I'll come to the parade. I love parades.
Have you ever been to a Yankee parade? Did you ever go? Were you
Yes.
too little
I went
at the time?
to 2 of them. I went
Oh,
to
you did?
96, I think, and 98.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Tony, I don't mean to touch on a sore subject, but were you at the parade in '86? Do you remember going to the parade?
I did not go. I went to 2 of the 4 Islander parades.
Which was what, in the parking lot of Coliseum? What did they have? They didn't have them in the city.
No, it was on Hempstead Turnpike.
Oh, well, yeah, so it wasn't in, okay.
Right.
I don't really remember that. How was that? I don't remember.
I loved it.
Yeah?
Oh, it was so much fun. And that was just a fun time to...
Yeah, you were,
And it's great because you
10
can be
years
right
old
here.
at
You
the
don't
time,
have
or
to
11,
schlep all the way
12.
into the city.
Right.
Yeah.
I was, 12, 13, so, it's a good age to, enjoy something like that.
Yeah.
But no, I've never been to a Mets parade.
Well,
I've
no,
only
and
had
you
one
could have been.
opportunity,
You were
but-
15 years old. You could have been, and
Yeah.
I think that that the Yankees or the Mets or both are going to be in the World Series this year.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason why they both can't be. I
Yeah.
mean, the Yankees probably have a little bit of a better chance just because the National League is a little
the
bit tougher, the
Dodgers are
Dodgers.
tough, yeah.
But I don't think it's impossible for both teams. For the first time, it would be in 25 years. This is the anniversary of the Subway Series
Yeah.
where they would wind up playing against each other.
I mean, that would be amazing.
So-
and either
Right.
way, I would go to the parade, Mets or Yankees. I like the Mets. I
yeah,
like watching
I don't
the
know
Mets
if I
win.
would. I don't think I would, but
I think I would.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that when the time comes. All right, boys, this has been a wonderful, wonderful episode. We will close as usual by Michael telling us what he has coming up, which I think is a lot.
I have some stuff coming up. Well, not even me, but tomorrow night, Juliana's performing in Annie.
Oh, wow.
She's playing Tessie and Annie. She's at the Levittown Memorial Education Center at 6:30. If anybody wants to go see Juliana play in Annie, which she's doing a great job. And this Friday night, I'll be doing something for the Malvern Republican Club in
Yeah.
Malvern. If anybody cares to come to that. Wednesday night, I'll be at Rodney's in New York City.
That's a packed lineup. I saw
Yeah,
that.
it's awesome show. It's the old Dangerfield. It's called Rodney's now, and
But not run by the same.
not run by the same guy. It's this
Okay.
guy Mark Lawrence, who was
Okay.
who I was doing open mics with him years ago.
Yeah.
Good kid, and
Yeah.
he ended up buying the place, and it's a great show. It's me.
Did they clean up the place a little
They
bit?
did. They really did.
Oh, okay.
And I loved the old Dangerfield because
Yeah.
it looked like it did in the late
Yeah,
70s.
and that's I think one of the reasons why the business slowed down a little bit. It got a little bit downtrodden. in
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was definitely dated, but I enjoyed like that old throwback. And but he did a great job. It's very modern in there now, and it's going to be a great show. It's me, Chris Monty, Eric Tartaglione,
Yeah, Peaches Rodriguez.
Peaches.
There's so many comics on the
Yeah.
show.
Pork
Like
chops.
who booked that? Is it Mark booked the show?
No, Larry, the guy Larry Izzo. I know Larry
Oh,
Izzo,
yeah, yeah,
great
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He reached out to me, but this other guy, Anthony Simeone, is producing the show. And,
Nice.
yeah, it should be a good one.
Good.
That's
Awesome.
Gonna be a fun night.
Okay, Mr. Anthony, what do you have as far as the Knock 'Em Dead Traveling Roadshow?
Our next public performance is June 6th, the Knights of Columbus in Hicksville.
Certainly cannot recommend enough Tony's Knock 'Em Dead comedy shows.
Thanks.
They are extremely enjoyable. I think it's the kind of thing where if you attend one, you will attend many in your life. So please don't hesitate. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me and I will get you information from Tony. And as always, please go to govs.com for tickets at the Governor's Main Room, Giggle Room at Governor's, Brokerage in Belmore, and McGuire's in Bohemia. And once again, certainly go ahead and think about purchasing tickets to see Steve Heitner, Kenny Banya, who's at Governor's on Friday and Saturday this weekend in Levittown. What a wonderful show.
Yes. And Saturday night I'm going to be there's the Three Monkeys in the city. They moved to a really good new room. Sheba Mason runs those shows.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to be there Saturday night on 50th and 8th.
Wow.
Yeah, the original location closed down for a little while, and they
Okay.
just came back last week.
All
And,
right.
so I'll be doing the first weekend.
Good.
there.
And
All right.
next Thursday, they've been doing it in Huntington, that stand-up, sit-down series.
Yes, that's
next
right.
Thursday is Rob Bartlett.
Rob Bartlett will be there next
Oh,
Thursday.
good.
That's
That's
right.
gonna
All
be
right,
a
I'll
good
be there for that,
Yeah,
for
that's gonna
sure.
be awesome.
Telling some stories about Rob. All right, folks. Well, that was a unique show, different show, but certainly really enjoyable. Like I was telling Tim and Cody, for the most part, we have on professional actors and radio people and comics. So these are two of the first quote unquote civilians that we've had on.
They were great.
But there was a reason why I felt like we needed to do that to get a little bit of a fan perspective, and they were wonderful. And we thank you guys for watching. If there's any new listeners or viewers through Tim and Cody, we hope you guys continue to like, share, and follow, because we're pretty good. We do a good job here, and we'd love to have you back. So with that said, thank you all for watching and listening, and we will not be here next week, I believe.
No, next week I have some kind of show.
You have a show. The following week, you guys can start marking it right now on your calendar. In studio, 9 p.m. on May 27th, we have Mark and John Cronin from John's Crazy Socks. If you people have any idea who they are, you're going to totally eat it up, because it's going to be a fantastic show right here in studio, Mark and John. And that's it. Mark it down and make sure you're there. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a great couple of weeks without us.
Thank you.